Good morning, students. Welcome to the biology class of class 12. Today we are going to deal with a new chapter, that is strategies for enhancement in food production. Up to this time, we were seeing the different diseases, we were dealing with the different microbes. Now, in this chapter, we are going to deal with the food production method, how to improve the food production method, what are the modern technologies that we can use to increase the food production. Okay, now can anyone tell me what's the need of this increase in food production? You know that India is an agriculture country and the population of India is increasing. Okay, and what is our option to increase the productivity? That to increase to develop the techniques that can enhance the production of the food material. Then only we can cope up with the situations. Okay, so this chapter is going to deal with the strategies that we are going to use for the increasing the food production. So it can include the different methods like plant breeding, it can include animal breeding, some kind of biotechnological process where we can control the pest and the diseases. Clear? I hope all are doing well at home. Stay safe, stay home so that we can have a good future. Clear? So let's come to the topic. So our chapter, that is chapter 9. You can take your NCERT book. That is chapter 9 in your NCERT book. That is enhancement in the food production. Strategies. What do you mean by the word strategy? That is the different techniques. The different techniques that we are using for increasing the food production. So let's see what are the main points that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So in this chapter, we will discuss about animal husbandry, then comes the plant breeding, then comes the single cell protein method, then comes the tissue culture method. Okay, so out of these four, the first one we will discuss today is about the animal husbandry. So, what is the need of animal husbandry, or what is the need of the plant breeding technique? Okay, already I told you the increasing population. What is the need of the increasing population? There is a demand of more food. And if you have to satisfy the people's need for the food, then we have to adopt new techniques so that the food production can be increased. So for this purpose, we are using some of the biological methods, and the main biological method that we are using here is the animal husbandry and the plant breeding methods. Now, what do you mean by the word animal husbandry? This is the agricultural practice in which we are breeding and we are raising some of the livestock. Okay, now what are the main livestock that we are breeding in animal husbandry? Everyone knows, of course, there is the cattle that can include the buffaloes, then cows, then goats, then pigs are the horses, cattle, then sheep, camel. Now, for what is the purpose of all these animals to be reared? Some have been reared for meat, some have been reared to work, some have been reared for their, what you can say, meat. Okay, so there are various purposes for which we are rearing these animals, and all this rearing, their proper caring and their proper feeding, everything will come under the topic of the animal husbandry. And sometimes we had a visit to the poultry farm, sometimes we went to see a fishery farm. So what happening in all these things, we are growing a huge lot of animals like cattle, then fishes, yeah, any of the hen, chicks, everything. And then we are, why we are rearing these animals? We are rearing these animals to get the products from them. And these products can be sold in the market that a consumer can take from them. Clear? So there is a production and there is a consumption level. So to improve this production and consumption level, we are adopting different methods so that we can excel in the food production way. Okay, so you can say that more than 71 percentage of the livestock have been produced in India and China, but only 25 percentage of this livestock has been transported to other places. So where we are lacking, might be we are lacking in the technologies, might be we are lacking in the techniques that we have to adopt so that we can raise the livestock in a better way. I think it's clear what do you mean by the word animal husbandry. So here we are using the animal husbandry technique so that we can rear and we can raise up the cattle population or any other animals population, and that will improve the production. Okay. So here is a picture of the various animals that we are rearing. We can see here different pictures. Cows are the buffaloes, okay, pigs are the donkeys are the, then poultry, then rabbit, then chicks, then what is this, geese, then turkey. Many animals have been shown there. So they have been grown, they have been raised in a conditions where we are providing them everything. So these techniques will come under the word animal husbandry. I think it's clear for everyone. So now let's see what are the different techniques that we have to use to raise the animal husbandry. So out of this, the first one we are going to deal is the management, how we can manage a farm. You might have heard about the farmhouses where animals have been kept and reared and raised. So we are going to see how the management of the farmhouses has been taken place. Okay. Now we know that the farmhouse, they have to be properly maintained. Otherwise, if you are not properly maintained, what can happen? Different diseases can attack these group of animals, and your production will be going to zero production. So the best thing that we have to do is that cleanliness should be there. They have to be get the proper food and nutrition, and it should be disease free. Okay, and other important thing is that there should be a veterinary doctor that has been always appointed to see the living livestock. Okay, so these are some of the things that we have to see. Then only we can increase our food production. Otherwise, what will happen? It will have a negative impact. We will lose all the food production and we will lose all these animals. So the proper methods to maintain the cleanliness, proper methods to maintain the food system, the proper methods to maintain the ventilation system, disease free system, everything should be there in your farmhouses. So that is what we are going to discuss here, how we can manage, yeah, how the management of farmhouses and farm animals has to be done. Okay. So the first one we are going to deal is about the dairy farm management. So what is dairy farm management? Yeah, what is the word meaning of the dairying? So what is dairying? Dairying is the management of animals. Okay, it's the management of the animals for what are the different things that we need for its milk production, for the human consumption, and even we can get the meat also. Okay, so what we do in a management, yeah, what we do in a cattle farming, first of all we have to select a good breed of the cattle. That is the most important thing. It's not a normal cattle we are going to rear up, because the production will be less. So first thing we have to take care there is that we have to select a good breed of the cattle. That is the first thing. Now second thing, this good breed of cattle should have a resistance to the diseases. Okay, so second point is that they should be resistant to the diseases. Okay, then the next point is that they have been kept in a place where they are getting proper water, and they have to maintain a condition where it is disease free. Clear? Then other one, the feeding of the cattle. So 5 points are the feeding of the cattle should be done in a scientific method. Okay, that means we have to see how much nutrients have been required and what amount of nutrients have been required for the production of the specific thing. Like if you want the milk production, what is the main nutrient that we have to add in their fodder? Okay, so these things has to be controlled in a scientific manner. Then comes the cleanliness, then comes the hygiene. Clear? Now hygienic condition we have to maintain, especially during the process of milking, then storage, and then transport of the milk products. Clear? It's very simple thing that we have to take care while we are having a managing of the dairy farm, yeah, during the dairy farm management. Clear? Once again I will tell you, that is, first thing we have to see is that hybrid of the cattle. Okay, the first thing is we have the hybrid, yeah, good breeds of the cattle. Then we are having the disease resistance, then proper water, then disease free condition, then comes the scientific manner of the feeding. For what we have to maintain the scientific manner? For the purpose of feeding. And next one, we have to maintain the cleanliness and hygiene during the time of milking, then storage and the transport of the milk and its product. Okay, so this is how we can maintain a dairy farm management. So let's see a video that is describing, yeah, that is showing how the dairy farm management has been carried out.
Dairy farm management. Dairy farm management is the management of animals for increasing the yield and quality of milk and its products. The milk yielding capacity depends upon quality of cattle breeds in the farm.
You
Selection of
can
good
see here this
breeds
say
that have
dairy
high
farm
yielding
management.
potential and are resistant to diseases is very important. Therefore, for a good yield potential, the dairy farm management includes following main processes. First is taking good care of the cattle. They should be
So
housed
you have
well
to care the
and kept
cattle,
comfortably. The place should be maintained in a disease-free
disease-free
environment with
condition.
adequate supply of water. Next important thing is selection of proper cattle feed. For this
The
proper
food
scientific
fodders have
procedure
been
should be
given.
followed for choosing the feed of cattle with special emphasis on its quality and quantity. Stringent cleanliness and hygiene of cattle and handlers should be maintained while milking,
The milking
storage, and
process.
transport of the milk. Nowadays, these processes have been mechanized, which reduces the chance of direct contact of the produce with the handlers. However, machineries have to be inspected regularly and proper records have to be maintained to check the performance and identify the defects. Regular checkup of the cattle by the
Okay, the word
veterinary
should be
doctor
the
should be done to
veterinary
identify
doctor
early
should be
symptoms of
the.
diseases and maintain overall health of the cattle. Out of the total milk obtained every day, only 39% is consumed directly, while the rest of the milk is generally converted
Products.
into various milk products such as curd, cheese, ice cream, cottage cheese or paneer, koya, butter, ghee, milk powder, etc. India ranks first in world milk production. Our per capita
Okay, I think it's clear. This video is showing how we have to take care of the farm. Yeah, how we have to take care of the cattle. You have seen how they are giving the food, how it is mechanized, how the milking is taking place. They are attaching the machine because it's not possible to milk this much number of the animal. So machines have been taken there, and we have to see whether it is working properly. And finally, we have seen that a veterinary doctor is very essential for maintaining the health and the disease conditions of the cattle. If one of the cattle is getting affected, what will happen? All other cattle will be affected. So it's very important to see whether they are disease free. Okay, I think this is clear for you, this dairy farm management. Now let's go to the next topic, that is a poultry farm management. So what is poultry? You might have seen, some of you might have seen, or otherwise, what do you mean by poultry farm? Yeah, poultry farming, yeah, poultry management is what we are doing. We are domesticating some of the birds, okay, and we are domesticating the birds either for food purpose, that means we are collecting the meat from there, or either for the egg purpose, okay. So it's mainly we are dealing with chicks, then ducks, then the turkey and the geese. So these are the main animals that is coming under the poultry farm management. Okay, mainly we have seen for the chicks only, and might be ducks also you might have seen, and turkey and geese might be you have not seen, but there are poultries which take care of the turkeys and the geese. And what are the other conditions like what we discussed for the dairy farm management? Almost same here. Like what are the different conditions that we have to take care of? First one, the selection of disease free and suitable breeds, the same point that we already discussed. Then second point, the proper and safe conditions. Then third point, the proper feed and the water. And the another point, last point, hygiene and the healthcare. Again, a veterinary doctor should be there who can take care of all these things. Okay, so these are the different conditions, like it should be disease free, and again we have to see whether they are hybrid. Okay, if it is not hybrid and we are rearing this much of poultry in one place, then the productivity is not up to the mark. So what we have to aim at, we have to get for a high quality of that breed, and then you have to take for the proper and safe farm conditions, then the proper feed we have to give them, and the proper water. Okay, water means the hygienic water. Then hygiene and the healthcare. Everything should be neat and clean. Everything should be kept neat and clean. And the waste products that is coming out from this poultry has to be disposed in proper time. It should not be left like that. If you are leaving like that, what can happen? The other disease causing organism can attack there and it will be a mess there. So we have to have an integrated management. I discussed when we were discussing about the microbes and all, like if you have a poultry farm management, the waste material that is coming from the poultry farm management, it is a best manure. Okay, it's a best manure. So we can take that manure and we can apply it on the plants and the trees for, so that we can there should be no need of the chemical fertilizer. Okay, so it should be an integrated management. Even for the cattle farming, dairy farming also, the waste material that is coming out from there, that we can input as an integrated project to having the methane gas, biogas, or to have the manure or the compost. Clear? So that is what we are doing in the poultry farm management. So let's see one video of how the poultry farm is maintained.
Poultry farm management. Poultry is the
With these
raising,
pictures, you will get
breeding,
an
and
idea
caring of
how these
domesticated
poultries has
birds
been
like
maintained.
chicken, ducks, turkey, etc., for their meat or their eggs.
Two purpose.
However, the most preferred bird in the poultry industry is the
But
domestic
commonly
fowl
we use
or
the
chicken,
chicken.
that is, Gallus domesticus.
That is
There
a
are various
scientific
other
name.
species of the fowls also that are reared worldwide for their meat and eggs. These are Gallus gallus, also known as red jungle fowl
These
of
are
India,
the hybrid varieties that
Gallus
we are
senelegum,
taking.
commonly known as the grey jungle fowl, Gallus ayafayeti, commonly known as Ceylon jungle fowl, and Gallus varius, commonly known as Java jungle fowl. In India, poultry started over 5,000 years ago, but was never practiced on large scale and remained as a household activity. However, poultry as an industry started only
You can
during
see this is the
1950s.
poultry farm.
In the year 2011, India ranked third in the world in egg production and fifth in production of chicken meat. Poultry birds, generally known as fowls, are of two types. These
One
are
is called
broilers and
broilers,
layers.
another one is called as the layers. Okay, so when we are talking about this poultry farm, we are rearing the poultry depending upon the needs. So there are two types of chicks we are rearing. One is the broilers, the normally that we get from the market, and broilers are mainly, I will tell you, this broilers are mainly used for the meat. So what we get from the market and what we cook food is the broilers, and the other one is the layers, and these layers are mainly we are using for them for the egg production. Okay, so depending upon the need, yeah, depending upon the purpose of our rearing, either we can rear the broilers or the layers separately, or we can have the two separate sections, like in one side we are having the broiler chickens where we use them for the meat, and the other side we are having the layers chicken that we use mainly for the production of the egg. So depending upon the purpose, we have to maintain the nutrient level also. Okay, so that is all, like their food should be different, little bit of the difference in the food habits, because one we are aiming at the production of the meat and other we are aiming at the production of the egg. Clear? So this is how we maintain the poultry. Now, the next one that we do normally is a beekeeping, and we know that the bees have been reared. Okay, the bees have been reared, and what are the two purposes of the bee rearing? One is for the honey, of course, everyone knows, and the other one is for the bee wax. And this bee wax also have been used in lots of medicines and in even in the cosmetics also. Okay, so both these things are important. So honey bees, and it's not very easy thing, rearing of honeybees. We know that whenever you hear the word honeybee, the first thing coming in our mind is that they will prick us. Okay, they will harm us, they will hurt us. So we have to take proper precautions before rearing this, yeah, before keeping the beehives. So where the bee grows normally, they grows in the beehive. So we have to make it artificially. Okay, so the beehives, because it's not a normal place where the bees are growing. So the bees have to be grown in the beehives, and inside the beehives they lay eggs, they develop their eggs. Everything will be taking place in the beehives, and the honey has to be collected from the beehives. So separate beehives has to be constructed. Okay, and this normally we construct in the some of the garden, yeah, in the agriculture field. So again, this can be type of integrated one. The bees helps in the pollination. Okay, this is a point that you have to note here. Bees are the one, honeybees are the one that is helping in the pollination process. So both the things we can get. One is they are helping in the pollination process, and other one we can collect the bee wax as well as the honey from rearing the honeybees. And the popular, the common the honeybees that we are rearing is Apis indica. So the genus is Apis and the species is indica. Okay, so let's see what are the different things that we have to take care while doing the beekeeping methods. Okay, so what is the importance of beekeeping? Beekeeping, the other word for beekeeping is apiculture. So the scientific name of the beekeeping is the apiculture. And what are the important things that we are getting from the honey? It's a high nutritive value, and it's a important ingredient in lots of medicines also. And the next one is the bee wax. This is also finding an application in the medicines as well as in the cosmetics. Then the common variety that we are rearing is the Apis indica. Okay, and what are the different things that we have to take care while rearing the honey bees? First one, the selection of the nature and habits of the bees. Then second one, selection of suitable location. Then third one, catching and hiving of swarms. Swarms means the group of the honeybees. Then management of the beehives, then handling and collection of the honey and of bee wax, and keeping the beehives in crop fields during the pollination, during the process of flowering period, so that it can help in the process of pollination. I discussed with you the honeybees are the main agents of pollination. So during the flowering period, you can keep this pollinating this honeybees in between the agriculture, yeah, inside this agriculture field, so that it can enhance the flower, it can enhance the process of pollination. Clear? So that is about the bee. Now the next one is fisheries. Fisheries, normally we call it as blue revolution because it is related with the water, the blue color. So normally we refer it as the blue revolution. So fisheries, what all things we do? Catching of the fish, then processing of fish, then selling of the fish. Okay, it includes all kinds of fishes, even the shellfish. Even normally we call it as arthropoda, but the local people say, okay, it's a fish, like a prawn. Prawn is considered as a fish, but in which phylum they belong to? They belong to arthropoda. That the science students knows better, but normally we call it as fish. So we are doing the catching, the processing, and the selling of the fish, and these things are included under the fisheries. Now, when we talk about the fisheries, you know that there are two types of water habits. One is the salty water, that is called as a marine habit, and other one is a freshwater habit. So the fishes are very specific in their osmosis. Okay, so the fishes that can grow in marine habitats, and the other one, the fishes that can grow in the freshwater habitat. So we have to differentiate these two things. One is the fishes the growing in the marine water, and the other one, the fishes growing in the freshwater. Now let's see, I have given some of the examples of the fishes that is growing in the freshwater. The common one that we are getting here, katla, rohu, and the common carp. These are the common freshwater fishes. Then marine fishes like hilsa, sardines, mackerel, and the pomfrets. Okay, these are the marine fishes. So depending upon the amount of the salt in the water, we are categorizing them into what is that, freshwater, and other one as the marine water. Okay, and other term that we have to know is the, what do you mean by the word aquaculture and the pisciculture? PC, again, it is confined to the fishes. Okay, the rearing and the production and the processing of the fishes. Fishes means all the aquatic, all the fishes like arthropods also have been included. That is called as a pisciculture. And what do you mean by the word term aqua? Aqua, we know that it's a general term. So whatever animals have been coming in the water, that is called that culturing of these animals, you will call it as the aquaculture. Okay, so let's see the difference between, what do you mean by pisciculture? You can note down. Sometimes this can ask for your exams also. What is the difference between, normally we call, commonize these two things, pisci and aqua. But there is a difference. Pisci, it's growing fish. It's all related with the growing fish, selling it, using its products for domestic purpose. And it can include the freshwater fish as well as the marine water. But in aquaculture, we are growing any aquatic animals. Okay, here it is specific only the fishes, but here the other than the fishes, that like lobsters are the, crabs are the, shrimps are the, all these are coming under the aquaculture. So aqua means water, culture means whatever animals we are growing in that water. Okay, so that is a major difference. PC means it's related to the fishes only, and aqua means all other animal aquatic organism like shrimps, crabs, fish, lobsters, everything will come under this one. Okay, you can note down this one. What is the difference between the PC culture and the aquaculture? I think it's clear. So whatever is related to this aquaculture, we normally call it as blue revolution because it's all related with the water. Let's watch a video.
Fishery is an industry dealing with catching, rearing, processing, and selling of fishes, mollusks, crustaceans, etc., or their products. It is an important industry for the following reasons. A large number of people depend on fish and fish products as food.
We
It
have
provides
coastal
income
areas.
and employment to millions of fishermen in the coastal states. Products like fish liver oil are of medicinal value. Some common freshwater fishes are catla, rohu, common carp,
You can see the
etc.
pictures.
Some common marine fishes are hilsa, sardines, etc.
Okay, I think it's clear for everyone. So you have to go to the this. So we have discussed today the cattle farming, then poultry farming, then beekeeping, and the fisheries. So please go through all these topics, and I think the videos are also there so that your topics are more clear for you. So go to this topic, you keep your NCRT book and just watch this video. So it will be easy for you. Have a nice day. Thank you, students.